Okay, ladies, we are obviously at Buchanan Toyota, and you just went through the iMagic training from iMagic. Who's your trainer?
Jason Brooks.
Jason. So did you guys get the basic understanding of iMagic from them?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you guys think about the tool?
Yes.
Good tracking? Okay, no problem. Did the managers go through the training yet?
No.
Okay, you plan on doing it, right?
No, I went through a demonstration type.
Okay. Well, what I'm going to do right now is we've got the overhead projector here, and I'm actually going to go on my laptop, and I'm going to kind of go through some stuff here, but the dealer synergy version of iMagic. All right, when you first come in, obviously over here, they have the calendar, right? So you got to understand, what I want on the calendar is only one thing, appointments. Some CRMs use a calendar to actually put what phone call you're supposed to make, what email you're supposed to make, and all that stuff. I don't want any of that stuff in here, because what the dealer synergy process is that with iMagic, we're going to create a predetermined action plan for your emails. Day 1, email template number 1. Day 2, email template number 2. Day 3, email template number 3. Day 4, template number 4, etc. Does that make sense to everybody? So if there's a predetermined automated action plan in iMagic, there really is no reason right here in the schedule for you to come in and see phone call, email, phone call, email, phone call, email, because that's standard operating procedure. Does that make sense? Okay, so the only thing that you want to use in the actual calendar is going to be appointments. Okay, so for example, if you make an appointment for a test drive, if you make an appointment for an in-store visit, if you have an appointment for finance, something like that, that would go right in that area. Here's something else. You also want to use this area, if you're going to create a reminder. Let's say, for example, if you're going to phone call somebody, you're going to phone call a prospect, but you keep calling them, let's say like your shift is 9 to 5, 9 to 6 or something like that. You keep calling them like during business hours. You don't want to do that. You want to, after you look at your history, if you notice, wow, I've been calling the same person, before 5 o'clock, maybe you're going to set a specific reminder here that's going to say, call Bob Smith after 5 or between 7 and 8 p.m. Do you see what I'm saying? So you're going to use this area right here for a specific action. Does that make sense? Okay, so it is for specific reminders, or this is going to happen a lot where, you talk to somebody and they say to you all, I got to go. It's soccer practice, call me back. So that's where you're going to put it. You're going to obviously put in there, you could set a reminder, oh, don't forget, I got to call somebody back at this time. Or if somebody, said, oh, Sean, or, Jason or Kevin, I'm going to call you back. You could put a reminder here when somebody's going to call you back. So yes, it's for appointments predominantly, but it's also for specific actions or specific reminders. Does that help you all? Okay. One thing I like about the iMagic tool is that it's split screen. I'm able to kind of, use this screen and use, this screen over here. Okay, now, if you look at it, it's pretty urgent, prospects, email to answer, people to follow up, and appointments today. So again, it's, urgent leads, prospect emails to answer, and, people to follow up with today, and then appointments. So this is kind of like your mini recap. There's a lot more to this tool. I'm not going to go into the tool because, I'm only going to do probably about, 2 or 3, 10-minute training clips right here. This is more than just a 30-minute tool. I mean, it's a very profound tool. I will say this in the beginning, though. Up here, you should go through the control panel and kind of click the different buttons and explore, all the different tools and resources. I know your trainer, Jason, went through a lot of information, right? What you should do is I encourage, afterwards is to go back and go through your notes from the training and then go click through the buttons. But let's start with what you're going to predominantly work with when you're here. You see this My button right over here? That's your day. So when you click my day, it pretty much is going to go to the next screen. But before you go there, this is like, again, your dashboard, your recap. This kind of gives you your overall global numbers. Make sense? Okay, so now when you click my day, watch what happens. It changes the screen, but if you notice, you still are over here. You still have, your calendar, right? Tells you what your appointments are. But over here, if you had urgents that were there, if you had fresh leads that were there, they would show up in red right over here. The way that we want to set up this tool is that urgents, because there's different ways you could set up iMagic. I want you to set up the tool, just so we're on the same page, that urgents are only fresh leads that haven't been responded to yet. That's all an urgent is. Okay, that doesn't mean contacted. I think, and you got to check, Kevin, you need to check the action plan there because it might be set up right now where an urgent is a lead that until it gets contact is established. That's not what an urgent is for me. Okay, the way that I want you to use urgent in our system, urgent is only a fresh lead that hasn't been responded to yet. Now, what I mean by responded to, it hasn't had a coordinator come in and click phone call and leave a voicemail message or phone call attempt. Because remember, automatically the computer, iMagic, is going to email a predetermined email script from the library. Is that correct, everybody? Okay, now, again, I'm going to say it one more time, and you could go back to the tape. You want to make sure that the urgents are only leads that have not been contacted yet. Now, after they've been contacted, that's what urgents are, okay? Now, if you take a look over here, what I love about iMagic, it might be a little blurry on your screen, but it says urgent, it says responses, it says follow-up, and then it says past due. So again, you've got urgent, you got responses, you got follow-up, and then you got past due. This makes it like an assembly line. This makes it, so easy for our dealer synergy clients, because the first thing you do when you come into the work is before you start your shift, you're gonna open up your 3-minute books. Now, that's a whole different section, not relevant to iMagic. It's a dealer synergy proprietary system. But after you do your 3-minute books, the first thing you're going to do, when you open up your iMagic, is you're going to look at your appointments, okay? You're going to see what appointments do you have, going on today, what you should, kind of get mentally prepared for today. And that's going to be in this section right here. But you're not really doing anything. All you're doing is looking. The first actionable item you're going to do is you're going to click Urgents. And that's your first thing. It's basically respond to your fresh leads. That's the very first thing you're going to do, after you look at what your day is going to hold, is you're going to, hit the urgents and you're going to respond to your fresh leads. Now, I said to you that iMagic, has a predetermined automated action plan. The dealer synergy instruction is for you not to send out the first email. That should come through from the from the computer. And as a matter of fact, dealer synergy says that unless a prospect emails you back or communicates you in any way, you don't ever send any emails. The computer does all the automated email protocol. Correct, folks? Okay. Here's what I'm saying to you, though. It's very important. Even though the computer is tasked to do so, it is your responsibility. So I'm giving you, and Buckhannon Toyota is giving you the computer and iMagic tool, but you can't say that, it wasn't my fault that the computer messed up and didn't send the email. You have the responsibility for every day of email, phone call, email, phone call, email, phone call, email, phone call for the first 30 days. So the first 30-day process that we're going to use in iMagic is email, phone call, email, phone call, email, phone call. However, the computer on a daily basis is going to send, template 1 through 30, days 1 through 30. That leaves it all you have to physically do is make the phone calls. Make sense? However, you need to check to make sure that the email is actually sent out. Does that make sense? Okay, so going back to the iMagic tool, when you come in after you look at the appointments or the actions that are here that for that day, you're going to click your urgents or your fresh leads. Now, after you've made sure that the initial email goes out, you make the phone call, and you do that for all your urgent or fresh leads. Then you go to your responses. What responses are, that's the second category right here. Responses in iMagic are the place where all the leads or emails that your prospects respond to. So let's say your department or you as an individual send out a bunch of different email templates. Some people are actually going to read those email templates and respond back to you. That's how you find them. Okay? Now, your follow-up should be, folks, is your all actives. Your follow-up is your all actives, your running lead count. Okay? So again, I'm going to go into in the next video, I'm going to talk about your all actives a lot, but for right now, for the next 10 seconds or so, I'm just going to reiterate. First step is look at your appointments. Second step is handle your urgents or your fresh leads. Next step is to handle your responses, and then your follow-up. Okay, so one more time. That is, look at your appointments. Second, handle all your fresh leads, your urgents. Then all your responses, all the people that emailed you, you're responding to, and then you're all active. Okay, so that's your protocol. Appointments, you're going to view. Then it's going to be your fresh leads or urgents, then your responses, then you're all active. Okay, look out for video number 2.